I can sing.
Dave Grohl does backing vocals quite often.
And fronty vocals.
And fronty vocals, yeah.
Yeah, but so does Roger Taylor.
And Taylor Hawkins.
Phil
Phil
Collins.
Collins.
Phil Collins is good, man. Can't knock Phil Collins.
Another Day in Paradise.
It's all right. It's a good song.
Oh
No, it's. I would choose to listen to it, but it's
We are live.
good, well-written song.
Hello, everyone.
Before we start tonight, any Phil Collins fans out there?
Yeah, if you like Phil Collins, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't like Phil Collins, give it a thumbs down.
Oh, no.
No. If you don't like Phil
Doesn't
Collins
matter.
as well, give it a thumbs up.
They don't care about that. It's all interaction.
Why does the counter burns out?
Are we going?
Yeah, I think.
How come Mike only says hello to you?
Oh, hi, Mike.
Yeah.
We know who his favourite is.
She is.
Hope your scotch was nice, or will be nice whenever you decide to tuck into it.
So it would appear that going by the number of Phil Collins songs that Mike's actually typing in, he is a fan.
Yeah.
Where's the thumbs up?
Yeah. Stop typing. Thumbs. Did you not fucking listen to me?
There is a thumb. A thumb has turned up.
Yeah. Right.
Are we ready? Are we prepared? Hang on, let me just grab a couple of
Yeah, I'm
coffee.
going to do a D.
Do I have any tea left? Not really.
I do that. Like Jesus, He Knows Me. That has to be the most arrogant song ever written.
No, it's a parody. Do
Yeah,
realise
I know.
Like I Can't Dance is the most accurate song written.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know it's a parody about the guys who
I've no
sell
idea.
religion.
No idea.
Yeah. It was a big thing in the 80s to sell religion.
Big thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, but more so in the 80s, it was just like, give me your money, I'll get you closer to God. That's kind of what it was.
Scientology.
Yeah,
It was-
essentially.
it was
pretty much, yeah.
based on similar principles.
Did
Yeah.
you
Look
really,
up,
even just mention that means we're just
Yeah.
going to get sued to death now, doesn't it?
Look up Jimmy Swaggart and what was he called, Pat Buchanan.
I don't think they
What, the
sue
wrestler?
you, though, do they? They like go
Jimmy
through your
Swaggart
bins
sounds
and
like a
shit.
wrestler as well.
But yeah, Scientology, they don't sue you. They like start rifling through your bins and taking photos of you when you're like
Yeah, good
mowing
good
your
luck
lawn
with
and
that.
stuff.
Welcome to look in my bin. I have a child.
What, in your bin?
That's a story.
not 30 snakes in a pillowcase.
No.
Gotta get rid of them somehow.
Do you want to think about pressing record and then we can?
We'll start podding.
Hi and welcome to this week's 3Legs4Wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with.
Sean.
Chris.
And Ian Brady.
Oh, Lord.
Now we have to start that again. Because for the podcast listeners, that makes no sense.
And we'll
No,
be
but now they're going to have to
starting
go
the
back and
podcast
listen
with
to the beginning of the YouTube show and to get my joke. It's fucking meta.
The opening of this week's podcast is brought to you by Jacques Villeneuve.
I might just have to do that.
Yeah.
No! You can't say a name.
I think we're all getting
A
giddy.
nice name.
We're all getting giddy due to a lack of F1 action.
Yeah.
Yes, let's blame it on that.
All right, he's come off his meds.
Yeah, that'll do.
But at least we have the first test this week.
We do. First test for 2020 Formula One season starts on Wednesday.
Yep. So for once, we're actually doing a show in testing week that'll come out before testing if I've got my arse in gear and released it at the
Yes.
proper time.
But most of the cars have already been launched. I say most. We're still waiting for Renault official launch.
Renault have only had a virtual launch.
And the car was black.
Yeah.
And also Orlan, whatever the frig they're called.
Alfa
Orlan
Romeo
Alpha
Racing Orlan.
Ferrari.
There has been something
Sauber.
made of the fact that the test shot things of
Team
the new
Kubica.
Renault that were put out all suspiciously didn't have a front end on them.
Did they not?
No.
I couldn't be asked.
They've got Grosjean back.
Yeah.
Or
But no-
Maldonado.
But have they got something? Have they got something in the front wing or something in the suspension?
Sneaky. You don't bring that to the first test, though, do you?
Don't know. Depends if you got it ready or not.
No.
If you
Depends
if you
how
Williams,
integral. If it's suspension, it would have to be, wouldn't it?
if you Williams, you don't bring anything to the first test.
That's always an
Only
option,
going
yeah.
on current form.
Well, last year's form. Might also be this year's form. We don't know.
They've got a schedule out and everything. They know who's in the car on what day, so that's more than they had
Okay.
this time last
they
year.
they have really actually stepped
think
up to
they've
the
done
mark
something.
and been like every other team. We have seen the Alfa Romeo Wallen car just with the snakeskin livery, which
We don't think is a finished livery because it's the same as what they did last year.
yeah,
with,
which is a shame because it looks far better because there's going to be too many red and white cars on the grid.
Well, yes, there is that.
No, but it's predominantly a white car, isn't it? You won't get the Alpha mixed up for anything, probably.
The AlphaTauri.
It'll have a big snake on the side, but the AlphaTauri is going to be white and grey.
Yeah,
Well,
but at
bluey
speed,
sort of
very
colour.
predominantly white cars.
Filmed in Arty monochrome, just like a company that would charge, I don't know, $160 for a plain blue T-shirt.
Yes, yeah, which is exactly what they did, and they're sold out apparently.
They're
according to Sean.
sold out in blue and black and red.
Yeah, so Danny Kvyat has many fans with too much money.
Or Gasly. Correct
No,
colours also.
Danny Kvyat.
Probably Kvyat, to be fair. But
But probably an idea to have a look at, before we talk about the cars, there are a few newsy bits.
Do you want to do news first before car launches?
Yeah.
Yeah, we may as well. One thing that happens every season is the new announcement of reserve drivers.
Yes.
And a couple of names cropping up again this year. Stoffel is back on the back in an F1
Saw
garage.
that.
Yeah, he is Mercedes reserve driver.
For all bar 3 races when it clashes with Formula E.
Fucking Toto Wolff has the horn for that lad, doesn't he?
He believes in him.
Yeah.
Believe in Van Dorn.
which
Hey.
is interesting because did he not put it in a wall
Yes.
this weekend?
Yes,
with
he was
very
leading the
little
Formula E
assistance?
championship until he decided that wall looks great.
Yeah.
Well done, Stoff.
I think I ran out of talent again.
No, because
Well, under pressure from
I-
Alexander
right.
Sims.
this might come across as controversial to some.
Oh.
Not the clever people. The educated people will understand what I mean. Formula E is shit. It's rubbish. It's far too crashy. It's far too tight to really overtake people. The fact that they use road tires so everything's dead slippery. I don't think there's enough in Formula E to actually Formula One for all the problems you have with
Politics?
no, but between cars not being the same sort of thing. I think there's enough in Formula E where you can really get a judge of who's got it and who hasn't really fast. Like Formula One is really good at filtering out the people Stroll that shouldn't be there, whereas Formula E seems so fucking random that who knows how good any of those people are.
Screen's gone off again. Don't let the laptop go to sleep like last time.
Yeah, it's so random. I don't think you can use it to get a proper judge on how good the people in it are.
But regardless of that, Stoffel Van Dorn is Mercedes' third
He
driver
is.
Yes.
for this year. He was leading the championship going into this round, and now after this round is not.
No.
Um,
I think it's Mitch Evans now is leading
Yes.
this one, possibly from Alexander Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone just replied, "Sam Bird is good looking." That's it.
Also crashed.
Also, ex-Mercedes reserve driver.
Yep.
There we go.
Ex fucking Honda. Wasn't he floating around in that team back then as well?
Honda, Braun, Mercedes.
Yeah,
kind of era.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm sure
possibly.
he was kicking around at that point.
Quite
I do not
possibly.
And
recall
I
that far
think
back.
he was the reserve driver for
BAR?
Virgin.
Virgin. Yes,
Oh,
he
Virgin
was.
rings a bell.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
That maybe that's how he got in. Maybe it was in that.
I think he's had
followed the
Branston money.
brand.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
day after I said on the last podcast that Jack Aitken could likely disappear, he turned up in Williams.
turns up in a Williams. Tuesday news. I could have done a jump cut, but I couldn't be asked.
I know.
And then also signed with a new F2 team as well.
Yeah, I got that a bit wrong.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad for him because it's like I still don't think he'll make it to Formula One, but he's too good just to fall away.
I think there's a decent racing career for him.
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Probably sports cars or something.
Maybe
but
even he might even scrape ass season somewhere if he gets the back in, like down the back end of the field or something.
bit of luck. Someone has a bad year and
Yeah.
disappears, maybe. But yeah, I think he's definitely at the sort of. He was at the sharper end of F2 last year, wasn't he? So
I think he needs to get himself into a seat. He needs Latifi to be shit, Russell to destroy him, Russell to go to Mercedes next year, and Williams not to want to keep Latifi.
Let's just see what happens between him and Dan Tickton, because they're going to be racing in the same series in identical cars.
Absolutely convinced that Dan Ticktum's going to win the Formula 2 championship. Convinced.
Not Mick Schumacher. Like
But according to you,
personally
Mick Schumacher was going to win it.
no,
I didn't. All he's done is finished eighth. I said he will be in Formula 1 no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Because of his surname.
I would stick my money at the moment on Schwartzman.
He could. Mick Schumacher could do a headstand on his car on the grid and peel a banana with his toes, and he'd still get into a Ferrari.
Kevin Magnussen made it to Formula 1 because of his surname. We love a bit of nostalgia, and it helps.
Anyway, more reserve drivers.
More reserve drivers. Of course, we already knew about Dan Tickton at Williams as well, but I think he's just going to be the sim driver. He's not going to be. He's not going to be there on race weekends. But it looks like Jack Aitken is going to get one FP1 during the season.
That'll be
Just
good
the
to see,
one?
I think.
Looks like it, yes.
I bet. I think your man's going to have all the F1s booked up, isn't he? You know, that 100-year-old, is he Indian? That Williams signed.
Ryan Nissany.
Yeah,
Israeli.
Yeah.
Don't think he has enough points to do a Friday session.
I think he's been
thought you were
guaranteed.
I thought you were looking at the spoof account that said that Ranganathan had been signed by
No.
And as somebody pointed out on a tweet after that, it says a lot about the state of Ferrari, where people were prepared to believe that that was
Ferrari.
happening.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it? Sorry,
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Ferrari,
But
not Williams.
I'm convinced that he's been guaranteed FP1s.
but he can't if he doesn't have a super license
he
point.
hasn't got the
Sure, I read
experience.
it.
He can have like a private test, but he
No,
can't.
maybe that's it then.
He can fanny about in like a 3-year-old car on some track.
He's also not 100 years old. He's 25. You're thinking of his dad, who tried to qualify for one race and didn't.
He looks 100 years old. He looks well too old to be getting into Formula 1. Yeah, he does. He looks older than he is.
Hard to tell there because he's got glasses on, so you can't see the eye.
Just like Bruno Mars.
And that might be an old picture.
Doesn't say.
Ah.
Let's have a look at what he has done.
Nothing.
Yeah, he came
Moving on.
22nd in F2 in 2018. That is
Moving
classed as his
on.
best finish.
What?
He will not be driving an F1 car on a Friday.
For those that don't know, there are 22 cars.
Mm-hmm.
This is not ideal.
Hang on, he must have beaten someone.
He's beaten the odds.
Oh, he beat two drivers that season, Nico Kari and Dan Ticktum.
But neither of those did a full
Yeah.
season.
Yeah,
they
they
just
only
did a
did
couple
one
of
race
wild
each,
cards.
didn't they?
Yeah, he also finished behind various drivers who didn't do a full season.
Yeah, it's not good.
Did he finish behind Ranganathan?
He wasn't racing. Let's say he
It's
finished.
2018.
He
not
finished
that.
behind. He
sorry.
finished behind Santino Ferrucci,
There
That's
you go.
not a
That
good
says
sign.
everything.
who was clinically useless.
He's there to give Williams some much needed cash.
I
Yes.
think so. Yes.
Because Williams are like, it's a rebuilding of Williams, and they're not doing exactly the same thing that they've done for fucking years.
No. So have Ferrari announced a reserve driver yet?
Not that I have seen.
Look at Padoa. Look at Padoa. Look
The
at
other
Padoa.
ones who have announced their reserve driver though are Renault, who are going with Guan Yu Zhou, who was shit hot in F2 last year.
Yes. Yeah. That's a fair appointment, I think
Mhm.
you could say,
Yeah.
as a reserve driver, especially after they've decided Jack Aitken's not the man for
Mhm.
them. Anyone else with reserve drivers?
Is it still, I'm assuming it's still Buemi for Red Bull.
And
'cause I think they just.
Sergio
forget he's
Seticamera at McLaren?
Oh, I think McLaren had signed someone else, but I can't remember.
Right, I have got a list here.
Marcus Ericsson?
Courtesy of
Possibly.
Keith Connelline's site Racefans. Mercedes reserve drivers are Stoffel Van Dorn and
Yeah.
Esteban Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Ferrari, nothing yet.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably be Brendan Hartley again. won't it? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
He's got the experience.
Yeah.
Red Bull haven't announced anyone. McLaren haven't announced anyone. Guan Yu Zhou for Renault. AlphaTauri, it's probably going to be Buemi along with his reserve Red Bull role.
Have they announced David Schumacher yet? as part of the Red Bull Young Driver?
Not yet.
That's happening at some
David
point.
Schumacher being the Ralph of young
child,
Schumachers.
Yes.
Alfa Romeo All-in Racing
Robert
Snakeskin,
Kubica.
Robert Kubica. Haas currently don't have one.
A spare Ferrari boy.
And Williams have Jack Aitken, Roy Nissany, Dan Tixom, and of course Jamie Chadwick.
Anyone with any money, basically.
It'll be Pietro Fittipaldi, I would imagine, at Haas, would it?
He has been for the last couple of seasons when he's been able to walk after his leg shattering at Spa.
Yeah, which is not ideal.
But yeah, so there's a few teams haven't announced anyone, but I mean, of course, Mercedes, they had Ocon last year, and the Toto loved him that much, he lent him to Renault.
If he's still got a test roll after having his leg shattered, that once again proves what a surname will do for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting who the reserve is at Ferrari, because I mean, if those two drivers don't get on so well, they carry over the hatred and stir it up a little bit more from 2019.
Then a call goes out to Hinwil in Switzerland saying, it's time. Send him back.
Yes.
I think it's going to be an interesting year for Leclerc, because I think, sometimes when you get a driver that comes into Formula One, I know this is his third year before anyone says anything, but someone always has a really, really good first year, and then they kind of just disappear and just become a Formula One driver. I feel like this is kind of his second go at a second year. Where it's he'll either definitely keep carrying this momentum forward.
He had a first year, didn't he?
Yeah,
He's had a first year in Ferrari, which is an excuse for,
and
not an excuse for mistakes, but he admitted that he didn't have the best season. He could maybe have done better.
I think it all.
Having said that, he had 7 poles.
It all, no, absolutely. But I think it all rests with, say, 7 poles. How many wins? And how many poles did he have?
2.
Because Ferrari were cheating like fuck.
Yeah, we don't know about that yet.
We kind of do.
Yeah, we think it was. We think that's
because as soon as someone says, "Hang on, Ferrari, you cheating," they stopped getting poles.
Yeah.
And started qualifying in 30th.
Yeah. With the McLaren 65.
The McLaren spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Button Alonso 65 place grid penalty. Yeah. Oh, okay. That'll be 30th.
It's like, I think Ferrari again.
Throwback to an earlier show when, in fact, in the pre-Dam days at Lee's Old House, where somebody said something wrong during the show and they got penalised, and had to start the following week's podcast in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once again Ferrari the most interesting thing going into this year, aren't they?
I think so. Are we done with reserve drivers?
Have we not got China? Or is that on the list?
Are we doing news? Aren't
I think
we?
we're still on news.
We're doing news.
We're meandering a little, but it's good.
Yeah. The next thing is, according to Cyril Abitable,
It's a good start.
Take this as you will. He says that Renault are now in a safer position to stay in F1. So, given his level of accuracy in the past, they're fucked.
Given the fact that he spells fact Lie, I'm not buying it.
Because the business situation in Renault has now sorted itself out. They got a new the whole Renault Nissan group has got a new CEO coming in July, and the current interim guy is moving down to deputy CEO. And he says because things have stabilised at board level, that shows the commitment's there for Formula One.
Rubbish.
No, it doesn't.
Rubbish.
It's a new boss. He's going to want to make his mark on the company, and if they're losing money, they are
out.
And
unless he happens to love motorsport.
I just want to say, Cyril Abitable has said that Renault. Let's look at the language that he's used there. Safer,
not safe.
No.
Safer.
Which also
to
suggests
stay in
there has
Formula
been
One.
risk.
Safer to stay in Formula One. That doesn't mean they're going to be anywhere near the sharp end of things.
No.
That's CEO
Just
speak. That's not CEO speak, because you talk about CEOs. That's team owner speak or team leader speak for, yeah, we'll be there. Oh dear, Daniel Ricciardo, what have you done?
He's destroyed his career. Like, he's gone from being like one of the hottest 4 drivers on the grid that had every chance of becoming a world champion.
And as Esteban Ocon fought his way into a team where he's going to be fighting with Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, they are going to fall out.
Yeah, quite likely.
Yeah.
Quite likely.
I think Ricciardo has, for want of a better word, Alonso'd his career.
But he's very rich.
So's
He is
Alonso.
very lit,
He's
yeah.
got a lot of money for
At
his
least
troubles.
Alonso got 2 world championships on the way there.
Got him out of the way early. Yeah.
Winning early to avoid the rush.
Yeah.
He might end up getting replaced by Alonso for next year.
But last October, the interim CEO of Renault said that they were going to question all their activities. You're really going to have to do something about that laptop. It's worrying me.
Well, just stop worrying about it. It's fine.
They were going to question all their activities, including the F1 program. But despite the announcement this week of the first company-wide losses for a decade, this is not sounding good.
When was it Renault last pulled out of F1? Was it about a decade
2010.
ago? So a decade ago.
Yeah,
2010 was the last Renault.
It was the year after Crashgate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then 2011 was Lotus, I think, first season of Lotus.
That's when Genie Capital bought into
I think.
the team, and then 2012 Genie Capital owned all the team.
Yes.
So last time they made losses, they left F1, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was part of the late global recession thing, though, wasn't it? I think
It
for
was when Toyota went as well, I think, wasn't it? Around about the same time.
Toyota went a bit earlier, yeah. To the end of 2009, 2010, 2009, I think Toyota finished.
Possible, yeah.
But according to Beatable Now, the new CEO comes in June or July this year, and he thinks they're safe because of this new guy.
Rubbish.
Maybe he knows the guy.
Maybe he's got photos on the guy.
Maybe. But just to obviously, Mr. Beatable knows more than we do. Fucking around the table in the Isle of Man.
Does he? Do we think he really does?
No, maybe not how to run a Formula One team, but certainly about maybe the structuring of Renault. So maybe he knows the guy. Maybe he knows the guy's committed to Formula One. And imagine if you get a guy that comes into Formula One and is gets the chance to go and see how the Renault Formula One team's doing, and I could see how that would be addictive and how you would want that to work.
Yeah, I think part of a Beatable's job now is to actually sell the Formula One lifestyle to this new guy.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what everyone has to do to get the sponsorship, isn't it?
Essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see, what else is there? Sorry, I just found out my bad practice.
Chinese Grand Prix.
The next thing I've got written down is Sport Pesa,
Okay.
Yes.
who up until today were the title sponsor of Racing Point. Because up until today, the Twitter account was still called Sport Pesa Racing Point.
Okay. Yeah.
And now they are BWT Racing Point, and Sport Pesa appear to be in some kind of bother because they are losing title sponsorships with various forms of sport left, right and centre.
Yeah.
They used to sponsor Everton Football Club. They put out a statement at the weekend saying that they'd parted company. There was another one.
Everton have been sponsored by their own community scheme, I think, at the moment.
Are they a betting website?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Kenyan.
Yeah.
Kenyan based with a presence on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, the Irish FA have also severed their
Yep.
ties with them. They had a deal. So yeah, and it's all companies severing their tie with Sport Pesa, not
them.
not Sport Pesa
Right.
pulling out.
Are we seeing another of these sporting sponsors that overstretch themselves and all of a sudden everyone realised, hang on a minute, they haven't actually got the money?
Quite likely.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, at least it's not happening halfway through a season. You know, I'm sure Racing Point got paid what they were supposed to get paid last year.
Yeah, I mean they'll be rich from it.
I'm not gonna even acknowledge that.
You should.
I'm
one chuckle.
I'm still that was a chuckle of sympathy. I'm still surprised that we're not seeing more Tommy Hilfiger stuff on the Racing Point.
That's because it's Tommy by Lewis, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
because
Lewis
the deal's been signed with Mercedes. Mercedes have the...
Oh yeah, no.
I think Mercedes have probably got some kind of exclusive
yeah,
deal.
Maybe.
And don't forget that Lewis was sponsored by Tommy Hilfiger before any
Tell you what,
Stroll money was
This
anywhere.
This is the fourth season of Lewis's collection with Tommy Hilfiger. So.
I'm not a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the Lewis stuff of this new line he's got, fucking cool. The jacket
Really?
is fucking ace. Really nice.
I haven't seen any of this line, but
Looks
all
really
the
good.
previous lines quite
Nasty.
bad.
Yeah, no, I thought some of it's genuinely wearable.
Fair enough.
Can I briefly circle back to the new boss of Renault?
Yes.
Because I've just been trolling his Wikipedia page, and there's an amazing
Trolling or
sentence.
trolling?
A little bit of both. Which I've just lost. Where are we? During his time at Fiat, he was considered a protege of Sergio Marchionne, carrying a significant responsibility over the launch of the new Fiat 500. However, Marchionne was disappointed at his results while he was leading Alfa Romeo. So this is a man that has disappointed Marchionne. Which, given Ferrari's general performances during Marchionne's reign,
find somebody who didn't disappoint Marchionne.
Yeah, Marchionne disappoints quite a few people as well.
in his deadness.
People in glass houses.
Shouldn't take baths.
Well, maybe.
Well, with the curtains open.
Depends what you're into, really.
Moving swiftly on. Spot Pays reports. Right, the Chinese Grand Prix.
Cancelled.
That's not a postponement. That is going to be a cancellation.
Yeah.
I can't see how they can reschedule it for later in the year.
No.
But the other issue is that Vietnam is now looking iffy as well, and that could leave us with 5 weeks.
I think it would
5
be
week
5
gap between
weeks.
races.
I don't know what it is now, and I can only remember half of the numbers, but I'm almost convinced that it was. They had 1,000 confirmed cases in Vietnam, and 30,000 people in quarantine. I read, and that's within that was within a hour and a half's journey of the circuit. It's not ideal.
Yeah, it's looking very iffy. Imola has now offered to step in if both those races are cancelled and hold a race in between the two.
But Imola makes no sense.
They've put in an application.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time a circuit applied to host a replacement race when one was cancelled was actually Jerez in 1997.
Yeah.
Because it was meant to be in season finale was meant to be in Portugal at Estoril, and they couldn't afford to repair the track because it was 90% potholes.
Yeah.
So Jerez applied and got it, and look what kind of race we got there. When was the last time there was a Grand Prix at Imola?
1990.
No, 2005.
2005? I
Pretty
thought
sure it's
I thought it was
2005.
I remember it whenever the Dreamcast came out, the Dreamcast Formula One game.
Mid-noughties.
Yeah, the Dreamcast game had it on.
Formula 1 2003, the game definitely went to Imola.
Yeah.
I think the last Formula 1 Grand Prix at Imola was 2005.
I think you're probably right.
I'm just looking this up now. 2006?
2006.
2006.
There you go.
Wow.
1 year out, as Ken Bruce would say.
As of Thursday, by the way, which is the last set of figures I can find, Vietnam has 10,000 people under quarantine.
Oh, is it 10,000 under
but
quarantine?
only 16 confirmed cases.
Right, okay.
But it has what the Bangkok Post is describing as a porous border with China. So
people just go in and out all the time. Yeah,
I think that's what they mean.
So yeah, like an open border.
Yeah, just wander across. It's fine.
So yeah, the Vietnamese Grand Prix is also under threat. In that case, you've got to wonder how many other places might be under threat. It's just these two at the moment. With Imola, it looks like they've put forward, as I was just saying there, like a formal application to step in. The only thing that can see that would ruin that is what on the calendar is after Vietnam. Is it Russia?
It's Netherlands, I think.
So that would make sense for them to go to Europe.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it would
it's
be
a bit of an odd one anyway. That I think.
So it makes sense for them to go to Europe a bit
It would
earlier.
work.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it's Zandvoort straight after Imola. Not Imola.
Yes.
Maybe Imola.
Yes, it is. Let's have a look. Vietnam is 5th of April, and the next race is Zandvoort on the 3rd of May. So if Vietnam doesn't happen, that will leave the entire month of April without a race. So yeah, I think it would make sense to put a European race in there.
Tell you what, Germany's going to be pissed off, isn't it, if Italy gets a second race and they still don't have one?
Well,
but Imola are prepared to pay. Germany,
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
neither German circuit has the money.
No.
was it Charlie Whiting who, before his death, went to Imola to sort of ratify whether or not it was ready for FIA top level sport?
So they've been working on it. For
It
a few
is, and
years,
it's now officially Grade 1.
It's
So
officially a grade.
it can now hold a Grand Prix.
Yeah, it can hold. Yeah, as you say, Grand Prix, Formula One, top level motorsport again, rather than. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but rather than just like the Italian GT or European GT series that it had been holding for a few years.
Yeah.
I always liked the circuit. That's when I said, because I didn't realise it was going to Netherlands straight away.
Would Kimi Räikkönen be the only driver then to have driven at Imola previously? Because Hamilton didn't start until 2007.
Unless it's someone in a feeder series, maybe, but as an F1
as Formula One driver, yeah.
As an F1 driver,
right.
Unless Alonso surprises us all and comes back this year.
Kubica.
Kubica
could step in with 2006. He would have been there.
Was it because was he mid-season? He came in.
Maybe, yeah,
2006?
might
He
be,
might
yeah.
have missed it.
I mean, most of them's been round there.
But yeah, there's obviously everybody associates Imola with what happened in '94, but it still is, even though they've reshaped that Tamburello area to a chicane. It still is a great race circuit.
Yeah.
It's one of my go-tos on like project cars and all the sim games that I've got.
Even that chicane up the top of the hill, it's ace because it's blind when you go into it.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, I mean, if it does come back at least, it'll be a welcome addition to the calendar.
I can't see it.
Would it go under? This is the thing. That would it go under the San Marino Grand Prix, or would it be?
Well, we were joking about this before. Is it the Chinese Grand Prix in Italy?
Luxembourg Grand Prix was at Nürburgring.
What is it? MotoGP called there? They've got a San Marino and Rimini Coast Grand Prix, which is in Italy.
That's at Mugello. Misano is a Mugello. I can't remember.
It's the one that's near Rimini.
Yeah.
It's the Marco Simoncelli World Circuit or something like that, isn't it? There's a ridiculous quantity of naming in this race.
Yeah, I think that's Mugello. I think
possible.
I might be wrong, but yeah. But
I mean, the way these things work, it could be the Swiss Grand Prix.
Having been to Rimini and San Marino, San Marino and Rimini are quite close, but it's surprising that they call it San Marino and Rimini Coast because it's about an hour's drive.
We have the first Rosbergian Grand Prix.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because he speaks Italian, so he feels a bit Italian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only when he wins in Italy.
Yeah, and then does Seven Nation Army. One for each of the countries he claims to be from.
So, yeah, we might not have seen the final confirmed calendar.
That's quite exciting in itself, though, isn't it?
Well,
we don't know where we're going in a month.
You do quite often get changes like that, and Formula One is big enough to put those changes in place, but it's a decision that's going to have to be made very soon.
Yeah,
to sell tickets, to sell, the event as a whole, and the way that Liberty do Formula One, it's not like it used to be where nothing happening. Thursday, some trucks rock up. Monday, they've all gone home. That's it. It's finished. They'd like to have events on around the
tyre
races
selections as well. When it's a flyaway race, you make your tyre selections 14 weeks in advance. So teams have probably already picked their China tyres.
I was just because even the work for a track that Pirelli isn't used to going to work out what
it's not going to be the same tyres for China that it is for Imola.
But all the teams are based in Europe. Two are based in Italy. The rest are based in the UK.
Sim work. What accurate track data do they have for that circuit?
Yeah, and coming back to tyres, Pirelli are physically going to have to make those tyres.
Yeah, I think they'll physically have to go there and throw a car around.
Well, Pirelli are
the
Italian.
Yeah,
they're from Milan. It's just down the road.
Yeah,
so
take Brandon Hartley. Do some.
Do you think the Chinese Grand Prix stuff? Do you think Formula One waited for Formula E to cancel first? Because it did seem to be like Formula E cancelled. What's
Formula E postponed?
There's no room. Formula E postponed, but the Formula E race was 2-3 weeks before the F1.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Formula E, I think, left it till the last minute, and then I think F1 decided, well, if they're not going to do it, we probably shouldn't as well.
I think Formula One waited for them because they as an organisation, they didn't want to look like the people that pulled it.
I think the other thing is with Formula E, because they don't have as many races in the calendar, it potentially was an easier decision for them because they could have the option to say, actually, it's fine now, let's go later in the year. Whereas for F1, trying to slot this race back in somewhere.
Well, I mean, what Formula E have said is they've got space to put it back in the calendar later on in the year, or if they're not able to do that, make New York a double header again.
Exactly,
because it has.
New
Jersey.
For Formula E to drop that race.
Yeah, so they've been able to do it, but Formula One had to come up with something, and I think they've probably got several contingency plans. They just haven't decided on what they're going for, and I think monitoring the situation in Vietnam gives them the opportunity to, we may be able to get a European race in now.
Yeah, because of the time difference and, of course, the logistics of getting somewhere to, like, someone like Sepang was mentioned about, being taking over reduced rate just so that they can have a race. It's easier, as I say, for it to all happen around Europe, and that's not against anybody sort of outside of Europe. It's just that's where all the teams and all the facilities and everything is based. So if they need to get to Europe, they can do it in days rather than the weeks that they'd have to think about, because quite often stuff travels by boat to like China and Japan, etc.
3 sort of tankers, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, there's 3 sets of the paddock in transition at any one time.
So it makes sense to start.
One paddock leaves China, and then the next time it's used is Brazil.
So is it Australia, Bahrain, and then
it would have been Vietnam. China, Netherlands.
Zandvoort. So it could be Australia, Bahrain, Imola. Under whatever guise, San Marino, perhaps.
That's 3 very different parts of the world very early on, which is exciting.
Okay, 3 races in, going back to Europe, Bernie will be going mental.
Oh yeah, definitely.
if it was up to him, Europe would have nothing to do with Formula One now. Let's just hope that later on in the year we're not talking about other countries having to be cancelled.
Let's hope not.
That's
Just thinking of other circuits that could step in if other places did get cancelled. I can't think of any sort of places that have been dropped that would be.
I mean, obviously you got Hockenheim.
Hockenheim's a possibility.
Turkey keeps shouting, don't they?
They do. I don't know if they got ratified. They said they had a contract, didn't they? Was that for 2019, but it never materialised?
Like the Korean circuit, where the problem was that was 200 miles away from the nearest city, and
so no chance of any viruses.
I think they only had 1 bus running to it every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
There's India, but that was shit.
I think the Indian circuit is now, it's sort of been left to ruin. It needs work doing just to make it raceable
it's
again.
It's a Dell call centre now.
Estoril.
Estoril's a good circuit.
Estoril doesn't.
It's a bike circuit.
Estoril doesn't have Grade 1 status anymore. Same with Jerez. I don't think that's not capable under the current regs. And of course the Valencia street circuit, which
it's been left to ruin. We've seen that. Yeah,
it looks like Mad Max, doesn't it? Have you seen pictures of it?
Yeah. every time you see footage of what it looks like now, you just get ghost town by the specials going through your head.
Lee doesn't. He hates Scar.
Estoril has an FIA Grade 1 license.
Yeah.
So let's go to Estoril. That's a good option.
So we haven't been to Estoril since 1996.
The Buriram International Circuit.
Look, let's all be honest here. We all want to see a Formula One car go through the corkscrew, don't we?
Laguna Seca.
Oh hell yes!
If we're gonna have another race outside of Europe, let's have another one in America and have it at Laguna Seca. Look, can I rephrase Lee's comment?
Last through
we
the
all
corkscrew
want to see
wins.
Romain Grosjean go through the corkscrew.
Unfortunately, there is only one other circuit which is Grade 1 license in the US, and it is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh no.
But it's been
something
redesigned.
Called Kuwait Motor Town. I don't know that one. I'm guessing it's in Kuwait.
Sounds like a showroom.
Kuwait Motor Town.
I mean, Fuji should still be on the list, shouldn't it?
But again, you go into Asia where the problem is.
Yeah, that thing Buriram's caught my eye because that's quite exciting, and potentially they could get Red Bull money to pay for it.
Can't help but think Kuwait Motor Town, crazy cars at crazy prices.
It's all the abandoned cars in the Middle East. When the oil prices dropped.
Oh no, there it is. I lost it. Fuji does.
I charm customers like snakes.
Fiorano, Aragon, Jerez.
Fiorano.
Yeah. It's got a license.
Maranello, has Maranello got
That's it.
Was that it?
Yeah, Fiorano, yeah.
Surely it's too short.
It's only 40-something seconds, isn't it?
Just have more laps.
Fiorano is
Lots of laps.
2.997 kilometres.
So Jerez you mentioned there as well. So Jerez is Grade 1 listed.
Jerez is Grade 1 listed. Yeah, pretty much everything that's on, what you call it?
Project
MotoGP.
Cars.
No, MotoGP calendar, pretty much everything's on it. Magny-Cours?
Oh, Magny-Cours.
What if we had a Formula One race around the Indy 500 circuit? We can do it the opposite way around. Use the banking.
It would be...
No.
Only the Grand Prix circuit at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is licensed.
It would be slow as hell because there'd be no regen and every car would be down on power because you wouldn't actually be able to generate any energy from braking.
I meant we could use the Grand Prix circuit.
Oh, right.
Nothing could go wrong.
Ralph Schumacher.
Isn't driving.
The Kimi Ring in Finland has got its certificate, which is the new one they're doing for MotoGP, but is mainly called the Kimi Ring in Finland.
That's amazing.
Why is that not hosting F1?
It's Kimi with a Y, though,
It is
isn't
Kimi
it?
with a Y, but, you know.
So, did anyone else see him on Instagram getting his son sorted out with a cart?
I did.
Yes. The son's been karting for a couple of years and seems to be fairly on it.
So basically, there are plenty of options for a make-up race.
There are 42 Grade 1 circuits in the world.
Brilliant.
So there
Plenty
are 20
to choose
going
from.
spare, presumably.
Yeah. We will wait and see. Right, it's been launch week.
Yes.
Has.
We have seen some new cars, or we have seen some new computer graphics, in the case of Renault.
I am tired of seeing, Formula One car launches now are turning into like Mortal Kombat character select screens. I just expect them to be bouncing around like that next to the cars.
Doing a little sort of rear axle wiggle.
Mercedes, Ferrari, and who else did a pull the cover off the cars, even though it wasn't
McLaren.
McLaren
and AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri. So
Yeah.
4 of the teams did that.
Racing Point have done drivers clearly stood next to the car, so they have a physical car. I don't know if they've done an actual, hey, here it is.
Ferrari's launch was painful.
Williams have released stuff
Yes.
on track, so we know that the
They've
car
got a car.
exists. But again, it's
they've
filming.
been in Barcelona today filming.
Yes.
Yeah.
McLaren were in Barcelona yesterday filming.
Correct.
We were in Barcelona up until Friday,
Haas-
missing all this.
Haas have been filming in Barcelona.
What
as
I
well.
did get from the Ferrari launch was, and I know Ferrari, red, we get it, but you can use different coloured lights. And it's the whole theatre sort of thing was just swamped in this red glow.
Oh, very
and
Amsterdam.
And at one point, because they had people doing stuff and things there, it looked like some sort of ceremony from Eyes Wide Shut. It was fucking stupid.
Do you think that they were using the red lights so that they would be able to hide bits of the car? Because obviously a red car won't show up well under red lights.
I think they sacrificed children to Moloch.
Sebastian Vettel was, when he was asked about it, said the car is a bit more red than it was last year.
That'll be the lights, love. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was actually his comment. It's a bit more red than
Well,
it was last year.
the Mission Win Now logo's black, and that's the major livery change.
Yeah. I have listened to the spiel coming out of Ferrari about this. It looks very similar to last year's car, but every component has been changed. It's entirely brand new, and nothing has been carried over. We've gone for radical change, and this is the way forward. And Ferrari, we're gonna push forward, and we're gonna win races. We're gonna be challenging for champions. Do you know what? When was the last time completely overhauling your car
Was a good idea.
was a good idea? I can remember Ron Dennis stood in front of the cameras when McLaren Honda was released. This is completely new. That went well.
I think the last time a completely overhauled car it came out from under the cover and did well was when Honda changed to Braun.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think there's either a little bit of lying on Ferrari's part going on here, and
They
There's
never
almost
do
certainly
that.
lying.
Yeah.
Everyone
And
is
it's-
lying right now.
it's either more of an evolution, or they have totally, completely screwed themselves by overhauling the car when
Bold
they were almost in
prediction.
a winning position.
It will be a brand new type of car that wins in 2021.
Good
not a bold
Lord.
prediction.
Brand new
Jesus
Tyson.
Christ. Somebody take a note of the time and date so we can refer back to this momentous prediction. But I'm kind of with you with the whole releasing cars that look the same and
Like the Red Bull looks
Red
the same
Bull,
at a first glance.
They
Do you think
made
so?
a big no.
Like the
they
actual
made,
car.
not the car, but they made a big deal about the same livery. Why change a winning formula? Everything is a different shape on that car.
Yeah.
Almost everything's
It's
different.
very different.
That's another thing that
I'm amazed actually how I'm amazed how different the Ferrari, Red Bull and McLaren look to the other cars we've seen.
Because in previous years we've seen Red Bull with the camo livery.
Mm-hmm.
The camo is they're trying to make it look like last year's car.
Yeah,
and it's really not.
It looks like they've been making cars for a different regs. You know, like you could quite easily see. Like if you take that sort of thin nose that they've got without the bump and stuff on the middle, and like the way the Coke bottle on these cars is really tight in at the rear end and stuff now, you could quite easily think, oh right, all the cars look like that, and that's from a different year to those cars because they're too similar and they're too similar to be the same year.
Yeah. A source at Red Bull says the car is completely different from last year. Someone high up has said it's all or nothing, so nearly everything's been changed on it. Although something did fail on the test rig. It's usually at this time of year when the car's on the test rig for the failures to happen. It had its shakedown at Silverstone last week. The first week of the test will just be running everything in, systems, engine, etc. And then the second week, most of the Australia race spec will go on the car. So look for the Red Bull next week to see how different that it's going to be.
It makes sense because when you think about the way that development plans work with Formula One, and you have like ideas and concepts that grow, and you might have this bit on the car this season, but down the road you've got an idea of what that might morph into. Mm-hmm. It makes sense for what under these regulations, whatever you've gathered, you might as well throw it all at your car because you're not going to get a chance to use it again.
Yeah, that's the thing. For Red Bull, this entire generation, they've been behind Ferrari and or Mercedes at various points. So actually, they might as well just go all in this year. Because what else are they doing?
You see, Red Bull doing the overhaul thing, I should be sounding out the same warnings I said about Ferrari before, but
it was Red Bull and it's not Ferrari.
It's Red Bull and they do overhauls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think McLaren must have done the same thing because that car looks fucking nothing like last year's.
Front end of this McLaren looks like last year's Red Bull.
Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, McLaren, don't forget, because a lot of the comparison pictures you're seeing between this year's McLaren and last year's McLaren include the front wing that last year's McLaren was launched with, and they changed that roughly a third of the way through the season, decided to
that's so narrow. The car has lost weight all over the place.
Oh, yeah. But the nose is, but the front wing is a big change. But it's McLaren themselves are saying, we've built on what we did last year. We've optimized what we had. The sound coming out of McLaren, very similar to the sound coming out of Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's the car that was basically what we had at the last race at the end of last season, and we've been working on it for roughly a year. We've now brought the two cars together. And
when you look at the cars, it's clearly not. They look like because we're saying that Red Bull have overhauled everything.
Obviously it's not the same car.
No, but I'm just saying, we're saying Red Bull have overhauled everything, yeah?
Certainly on the outside.
Yeah,
of
but
Red Bull are saying they've overhauled everything.
Yeah.
But
they're not saying a source within Red Bull.
But McLaren and Mercedes are the two cars that look most like the so-called overhauled Red Bull. So that would suggest they've been overhauled as well.
The front ends are different. And
the backs is fucking miles different.
The Mercedes, the two cars for me that I've seen so far, where the back end is so ridiculously tight and sweeps in so early from the side pods.
McLaren's well the smallest.
No, it's Mercedes and AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri. Go back and have another look at that McLaren.
I've had a look at the McLaren. It's not as tightly packaged as the Mercedes.
I think so. I think that is a tight back end.
AlphaTauri. Have a look at the AlphaTauri from top. They've been very clever. their side pods don't extend all the way out to where the wings are. The side pods aren't as wide as any other car.
No, side pods look
do
too
seem
nice.
slimmer across the
Yeah.
The
board,
side pods
don't
on
they?
the
They're very
AlphaTauri
tapered.
are incredibly slim. They've taken the side wings out further for the barge boards, but the actual side pods are quite slim, which means they've been able to taper it in earlier. And for me, it's the AlphaTauri
We have
possibly that
seen
has the
some
slimmer.
good-looking Toro Rossos in the past, though, and it hasn't
Yes.
done anything for
What was
them.
it? The 20. I want to say the 2017. The James Key car.
The
Yeah.
Cola one. Red
The one
Bull
that
Cola.
looked like that you stuck it next to the Mercedes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It was either 2017 or 2018.
yeah,
17, I think.
I think it was.
but it's my favourite livery.
I mean, AlphaTauri have actually announced that they've got a closer tie-up with Red Bull technology.
Well, yeah.
How do you get
everyone's-
closer?
Well, no, everyone's suddenly going to get a close tie with technology groups, aren't they? Because they
Because of
don't
the partnerships
count
going into
towards-
2021.
They don't
Yeah.
count towards a salary cap.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen the Alfa Romeo. We've kind of spoken about that. That's apart from the snakeskin livery.
Yeah, they've been very cagey with the photos that they've released of that at certain angles, so you don't actually get to see what's going on.
Yeah,
Certainly at the back end and the a lot on the sides because they've had the dark livery with the carbon fibre turning vanes in front of it. So you can roughly make it out, but the photos aren't really high def enough.
no.
The Haas, they released the livery photos, and I'm not sure whether that was on this year's car or last year's.
I think
There was some similarities, but I think it was kind of a hybrid.
I think it was just a render of a Formula One
yeah,
car.
it was a render. I think, but I agree with Paul at the same time. I don't think it was completely the 2020 car.
Looks if it is,
It's
it
a
looks very
revert.
basic.
It's a revert back to the livery they were
That
using
might be
before
what
Rich
they
Energy
need,
got
though.
involved.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget that when they reverted to the Spec 1 of the 2019 car, all of a sudden it started to be a bit more reliable and the tyres actually didn't generate ice cubes.
And bits of it did look like last year's Ferrari, because that's what I think they've ended up like. The last time Haas was good was when it looked like last year's Ferrari.
No,
that
when it
time.
was last year's Ferrari.
I think you'll find Haas having a very similar car to last year's Ferrari.
That wouldn't surprise me because obviously with them buying everything in kit form, they need something a bit more reliable to put it together. And I think if Dallara have got more info from Ferrari on what they did with the car, because the Ferrari was good at certain points of the year.
Last
Better
year,
than the
Yeah.
Haas.
yeah. I think that
It was the best
was-
car at certain points of the year
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, until people said, "Hang on a second, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Till somebody went, is that legal? And then all of a sudden, shh, just lose those 7/10 per lap.
One thing we will do though on the 3Legs4Wheels website this week, once all the cars have done their full launches and we've actually seen them on track, we will put up like an article with pictures of everything so you can have a look at actual cars.
And I will get around to doing the season guide as well, like I did last year.
I've got to be honest, I don't like the McLaren livery as much as last year's.
I think it's fine.
It looks like
Fine is
Yeah.
like 5 out of 10.
But I think I don't think last year's. I like the orange, yeah,
I like the orange and blue.
yeah, but I don't. I think there's more they could do with it. Do you know what I mean? It's the.
I have noticed they've left a giant space on the back of the car, just ready for a title sponsor to come in and go, there you go.
To be announced in the next week.
Yeah, because all of their sponsors are small logos on just on the top of the side pod. They're
Except
not really
for Husky Chocolate across the
across
entire
the
back
rear
of the
wing.
rear
Yeah.
wing.
Yeah. But for me, it's waiting for there's a title sponsor coming in that's just going to be. Here you go. Here's plenty.
Is
of
somebody
money.
going to say Kimoa?
No.
No. Just feel like say like, lads, listen. You know what you need to do to make your car look nice. Go back and look at the test livery that they used to run when they used to run the orange cars. Do that. Yeah. Just make your car look
The orange
like
and black.
the
The orange and
old
black.
test livery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll look ace.
Of course, we have to with this year's McLaren. We have to play Hunt the Kiwi because it's on there somewhere.
Kiwi?
Yeah, they always put a picture of a Kiwi on the car.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, hunt the kiwi. Sorry, yeah, now I understand. I was thinking like a fruit.
Papaya and kiwi.
Yeah.
It's either a smoothie or a face pack or something.
Yeah, I think McLaren are just they've left that space blank intentionally because they've got something in mind. Maybe not. Maybe it'd just be like the 2018 McLaren where it's just orange.
Until May, it'll probably say something like "Watch us at Indy," and then after May, did you watch us at Indy?
Yeah, maybe.
Or it's like just one step away from just writing your brand here.
Possibly.
Cater 'em.
That was just the whole car, wasn't it?
The Williams we saw today, didn't we, for the first time?
Yeah.
What do we think of that? I think the livery is awful.
It's a Marmite one, isn't it?
I kind of like it.
I don't.
Yeah,
it does look a little bit like Aquafresh.
It looks like a fake
we've
car.
had Aquafresh, we've had the French flag.
Yeah.
It looks like a fake car that you get as your Formula A car or project cars.
Yeah,
Well, there's now pictures of it on track, so it's a real fake car.
It is real.
I know it's
Jasper
real, but
Racing or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Williams have already said this car's an evolution, so they're evolving from like a single-celled organism to 2 cells.
I really do hope they can do something more. I'm just
2 points.
Yeah, but just be closer. Even if you're not scoring points, just be closer to the other
on
cars.
the same lap as some of the other cars.
But I'm not. That's not a prediction.
Bold or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, we might know more a week on Friday. And at least we're going to get to see Williams at both tests this year. So the car's been designed on time. It's been built on time.
Yeah.
Nobody's quit or left for personal reasons or been fired or whatever.
No, you bitter.
I mean, to be fair,
nobody to do with the design.
Yeah.
To be fair, every team on the grid has like there's some marquee names when it comes to like the technical side of Formula One, isn't there? And every team has somebody that if you really rack your brain, you'll think of, oh, he works for Renault, or he's gone from McLaren to Renault. There isn't a name at Williams anymore. Not to say that there isn't tremendously talented people there, and maybe there'll be someone that makes
There's
the
no
name.
Rob Smedley.
Yeah, maybe they'll make a name for themselves in Williams, but you just think that the people that have fell out of that team, and I still like the people that take the Williams side over, what's his name?
Paddy
Lowe, yeah, it's like people that seem to even try and pretend themselves. Paddy Lowe leaving Williams was a good thing for Williams.
Did Pat Fry go to Williams?
He was there as a consultant for a couple of races.
He's gone again.
I think so. Yeah, I think he turned up.
Yeah.
I don't know that he did anything. I think he was just seen to be there.
When Pat Fry was in charge of Williams, was the last time that it was competitive.
I mean, Patrick
this
Head
was like last season.
Patrick Head was there as a consultant as well. After we predicted it on that show that we did with Scarbs.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later it happened. I think that was the main thing we got right all last season.
Yeah, well, everything that we've predicted so far in this podcast is basically going to not come to fruition. So, congratulations to Charles Leclerc for winning the 2020 World Championship,
and George Russell for getting his first podium.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat Fry is at Renault apparently now. I'd kind of forgotten about that.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that. But
I knew he'd gone somewhere.
See,
I thought it was
this
Williams.
is the thing. What I mean, every team you look up and down the grid, there'll be one of those key personnels there.
Yeah,
but Williams just don't have that person, and they've had, like, I think, the Smedley coming in and going. God, why have I forgot his name again?
Paddy Lowe again.
Yeah,
like
coming and going. Yeah,
Pat Fry, Paddy Lowe, Patrick thingy.
Head,
that's the one.
These people wouldn't be disappearing, coming and then going if there wasn't something seriously wrong inside that team.
It does seem like there is.
I think the problem looks like a horse.
And with that, we'll move on.
And yes, we'll move on. So, who are we left to see that is actually launching properly?
Renault
this week.
And Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, so we'll actually get to see the real cars on Wednesday, which is the first day of the only 3-day this time testing session. Because, of course, testing has been cut back by... Pre-season testing has been cut back by 2 days to make up for the 22nd race, which now doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Great plan.
Just while we're on the subject, anyone seen anything about what's happening with the extra MG UK that the teams are going to be allowed this year because of the extra race?
Well,
now that there might not be 22 races,
Well, there might be. We don't know.
are they allowed to claw it back?
are the regulations going to change? It's going to be back down to 2.
I think that'll be set in stone. I think that'll be what the teams are working with. And let's all be fucking honest that if we do lose a couple of races and they've got some extra components, it
They'll
might
just
mean
thrash
that
it a bit more.
and it might mean we don't get fucking stupid penalties. So I imagine they'll keep them.
Yeah.
I know under the cost cap they want component usage to be
You've already
reduced,
budgeted
but
for that, and you're not having to pay to get to another track. So
The chances are those components are all produced and paid for.
yeah,
anyway.
they're probably sat in a warehouse somewhere ready to be fired up.
Yeah, but like I said, not seeing anything about that. So testing this week, full days live on TV now. Morning and afternoon sessions on F1 TV Pro and for UK viewers on Sky Sports F1. Last time we just had the first week's test and it was just the afternoons on Sky. This time we've got the lot, all 6 days. I'm maybe taking some time off work to watch it.
Very good.
Rather than being unemployed and watching it last year.
Yeah, it's all very exciting. I like it when testing starts. You just
the season's actually
close.
close.
We're on. I mean, 4 weeks from now we'll be doing our first race review.
Yeah, I like the mental gymnastics you have to do to try and convince yourself that you've got an idea of what's going on.
Usually involves a pen and paper or a calculator
Or just lying to yourself.
Or just getting scarbs on to tell us.
Yeah.
I think
that's the avenue.
So
I'll
basically,
if you're listening, Craig, any chance you're free in like 2 weeks' time?
basically the argument is at the moment it's evolution versus revolution, isn't it? Is it the teams that have gone down the revolution route, like Red Bull and Ferrari, that are gonna push forward and get the jump, or they're the ones who maybe have gambled a bit more than they, because they could afford to, or is it the teams that have chosen the evolution route, Mercedes and McLaren, who are gonna end up with 2020?
And I think we can probably, although we've not heard anything to confirm it yet, I think we can put Renault in the revolution route as well, because they look like they wanted to change everything just to suit Ricciardo.
For one season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will stake their Formula One life on, oh God, it's happening again.
I mean, it's a big thing for that. Right, realistically, when you look at Ricciardo, it was a poor year for Renault. But I mean, what do you do if you're Renault? Like, you had a guy that you were paying $1 million a year, and then you had another guy that you were paying $20 million a year. And I like Ricciardo. I don't think there was 19 million difference between him and Hülkenberg.
Have you seen the trailer for season 2 of Drive to Survive?
No.
Which came out today.
Which
there
launches
appears to be some bad
next week.
blood. There's implied bad blood between Hülkenberg and Abita Bull.
Right.
Abita Bull
Okay.
makes a pissy comment about when you get a podium, that's when you'll get a seat on a private
Whoa! Jesus.
No, I've not seen the trailer. I've heard the trailer, and I can confirm there is Steiner swearing.
Yeah,
It's very, very swearing.
I can't wait. When's that out?
Week on
28th.
Friday. Is it 20th? Is it
28th.
28th? So last day of testing.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Can't wait.
So taking that day off work then. Testing during the day, binging Drive to Survive that night.
I'll have a different experience watching it this time because I was sick when it came out last time and I was full of morphine.
Oh, so it might not be as exciting for you this year.
Maybe not. No,
We're all on tracks.
I'll
instead
tell
of
you what,
riding
I am
clouds.
never coming round to one of your watch parties ever again.
I'll probably remember that.
We do remember when Lee nearly died, though, don't we?
We're just laughing about it.
He
I remember
doesn't.
that because I smashed the whole series really quickly because I had nothing else to do, and when I finished the last episode of that and then listened to your album.
Yes.
And that's when I messaged you saying that whether it was Jericho or
would
not.
have been mid-March.
Yeah,
when that came
there was
out.
one of the tracks that I thought sounded fucking ace. I remember messaging you about it while I was fucking high.
Lee said it whilst he was high, everybody. You know my music's good.
And that ends this week's Afro Man session.
Remember, you could still search Chris Flood on Spotify.
You can, and I suggest you do.
So, I think that's about it for everything that's come out so far this week. Now we just wait and see what the cars do, actually, on a circuit.
What's everyone's favourite looking car?
Oh, God.
Livery-wise, AlphaTauri.
I would agree.
Same here.
Livery-wise.
Yeah. Car design-wise, I think either the McLaren or the Red Bull.
Yeah, I like the look of the Red Bull. I would love Alfa Romeo to stay with the black snake skin just because it's different and it looks cool, but they won't. It'll just be red, white, and black like last year's was.
I'd like it to look more Alfa-y, if you know what I mean. Like I know, like last year's car kind of looked like a Sauber with an Alfa Romeo logo on the side of it. I'd like the livery to tie it more to Alfa Romeo. Like some more gold and some more green involved in it, and maybe even play with the like the characters on the Alpha logo, so you could have a snake on it somewhere or something like that.
Big sign on the side pod saying, "For the love of God, do not get this wet."
A snake eating a man. Strangely enough,
get that on the car.
Yeah, that's on the Alpha logo.
But just something that makes it feel like Alfa Romeo is in Formula One. And not just the name in Formula One.
I know what you mean.
Like I say, I still like the idea of the snake print because just reminds me of 1980s hair metal trousers.
Snake print looks like McLaren's tease logo when they were going orange. Remember when they had like the break underneath the thing where you could see the orange starting to break through the car?
Yeah.
Also, the best snake livery is still, of course, the Jordan.
Oh, yes. Bitten and Hiss's one.
Well, they did it for two. Yes, very good. They did it for 2 seasons, didn't they?
They had that for 2 seasons, and then went to the Buzzing Hornets.
Yeah.
That was that was a good one. Right, probably shunt time.
Why not?
And did you get the? Oh, just before we do, just a couple of people have sent in tweets and messages about their 3Legs4Wheels memories.
Yes, shall I read some of them out? I did get some tweets.
If you've got some details there.
Yeah. Before we shunt, so I can't get accused of cheating while shunting, which sounds very rude. Yes, thank you for everybody who got in touch with me on Twitter about your first experiences to 3Legs4Wheels podcast. We turned 5 this week.
Yeah, it was 5 years ago as yesterday we recorded our first show, which has never been heard and never will be because the hard drive that it's on died. And I think it was that show that killed it because it was terrible.
Hard drive committed suicide.
Basically, yeah.
I'm taking one for the team, guys.
It took us 3 goes before we actually got one well enough to put out.
Yeah.
So one of I think the very first person to respond, unsurprisingly, Mike McPherson. Hi, Mike. His favourite 3Legs4Wheels memory. He said, "Man, too many to recall," but I would say it was a moment where we added Scotch to the conversation. It's the second time I mentioned Mike and Scotch in one evening. So.
He is our Scotch correspondent. Let's face it.
Yeah. Andy Hicks said that his first episode was episode 97, where we used the Formula 1 97. I think that was just as we were starting the 2017 season.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's having a coughing fit. This is my favourite part of the Tonight Show. Lisa said that's when everyone started listening and found you guys after Canada last year. I've listened to all of 2019 and I'm slowly getting through the back catalogue. So somebody there listening to all previous pods, which I still do.
I think that's great, yeah, and I love it. But I don't understand it. I don't understand people that listen to topical, like news-related programs. In retrospect.
Some people like to know the history of the sport, I suppose, especially the recent history, and how good we are at talking about it.
I think it's great. No, I think it's great. I think it's a tremendous compliment as well that people do it.
And long time listener and contributor Santerio Nasty says, I remember listening to the first 3Legs4Wheels episode about Kimi's win at Austin during the 2018-19 off season. and then Pablo 100 and Flood 21 trying to pronounce my name and absolutely mangling it. And that tweet got 9 likes.
Yes.
If
you are a new listener, and particularly an international listener, and are getting in touch for the first time, and you have maybe a slightly tricky name for those of us who are not from your country, please include a pronunciation guide for our sanity purpose.
Yeah.
Or don't and watch us butcher your name.
Yeah, expect butchering.
Yeah, I've got a fairly easy one here. Sooty Corbett.
Yeah.
My first episode I listened to was number 54, so not that early on. I don't know, it pretty much was.
Pretty early, yeah.
200 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Monaco 2016. I won a competition and stayed in Cannes for a week, and then went to the Grand Prix. Made me fall in love with the sport all over again, and I've not missed a single race or podcast since.
I just got a tweet now from Gemma saying, I forgot to do this. I honestly can't remember my first memory of you lot since it was such a long time ago now. But I know that I've met some lovely people through the pod and wouldn't change it for the world.
That's dead nice. Thank you.
So if
Thank
you're
you,
only
Gemma.
a casual listener, then there's a real community going on where people make friends among 3Legs4Wheels listener fan base.
Yeah, I mean,
so thank you, Gemma. That's very nice of you to say.
We do the shows live on YouTube every week, and there's always healthy chat going on. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat now and see how healthy it is.
You don't want to be having a look at the chat when we're shunting, though.
No,
that
we
is
are
true.
about to shunt.
I'm just going to have a quick look, and the first thing that I've seen is Mike McPherson talking about Scotch.
Good.
Right, laptop
that is
short.
Excellent. Right, who's this one from?
This is from Jono Millsy.
Right.
We haven't heard from John over a while.
Yeah, talking of long time listeners.
Yeah.
Right, one of the people that sent me a
Jonathan
shunt in,
Mills.
like not a strange way, just the not normal way.
Right.
The,
carrier pigeon, was it?
No, Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you can say
Picasso pigeon.
Yeah. Look for a total shunt. It's got me with a big angry beard as my little picture, and you can send me to me as a PM. Those if you don't have Twitter. I was born.
Yay.
The same year that Newcastle United won their 6th FA Cup.
Wow, okay.
Sterling Moss became the first English winner of the British Grand Prix.
Right. Okay, this will be 1955 because Sterling Moss was around and driving back then.
Okay.
And Newcastle United beat York City in the semi-final when they went on to win the cup. York City knowledge may prove to actually be worth something.
So you think it's 55?
I think it's 55.
In 1955.
And the York team at the time were nicknamed the Happy Wanderers. Anyway, carry on.
Right.
No.
Well, there we go. So if they're born in 1955, that would make them
65
this year.
I raced for Scorpion in the British Formula Ford Series against Nigel Mansell in 1976.
That'd be about right age-wise, yeah?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I am American.
Right.
Okay. Which Andretti are you?
So, an Andretti.
You need a guess on this one, don't you?
Yeah. So I thought,
Right.
So let's think of Americans who made it as far as Formula One in any time from late 70s to the early 90s.
I think Eddie Cheever,
That's a good guess.
because he was around, and again, this is going on my ye olde knowledge. The thing that really got me into Formula One was the Panini sticker book, and I remember having his sticker, and because he had a gold car.
Oh, okay.
Flash twat.
Eddie Cheever sounds like an 80s pop star, doesn't he?
Is there an
was
Eddie
Eddie
Cheever
Reader.
Jr.?
No,
There's
but
definitely a child Cheever.
I think there is, and I think he's got a racing team as well.
You could imagine him being like one under the charts behind Matt Bianco.
Just there with Rick Springfield.
Yeah. I have tested for Brabham, but Olivetti,
Yeah.
the sponsors, denied me the drive.
Oh, bastards.
Because he couldn't type.
Couldn't speak Italian. No, I have no idea. No,
But you let the funky music do the talking. That's 2 tonight.
And went on tour with John Cicada.
it's Robert De Niro.
No, he was just waiting.
He was.
All right, I've milked it now. Yeah, I mean, I remember Olivetti being on the sides of cars.
Yeah,
What
Brabham
is Olivetti?
specifically.
Typewriter manufacturer.
Right. Is it Italian?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
So probably ruling out an Andretti then, because
Yeah.
If I'd been given the F1 drive, I would have broken down barriers. I am Roman Grosjean. And it would have been very significant. I am a Labrador.
Unless we're thinking of a female driver,
I was going to say,
perhaps.
this could be someone of a different race or gender.
When I qualified for the Indy 500 in 1991, it was significant as it would have been. It was as significant as it would have been if I received the Brabham drive in 1986.
I'm thinking not Eddie Cheever.
Possibly not. So 1991, if they're born in 55, they would be 46? Not 36. 36.
36.
Maths is off. I don't think it's a woman. I think there was a woman in the Indy 500 before then, and I think she had quite a bit of backing from Dale Coyne.
I remember.
I remember
The
her name.
documentary before last year's Indy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't remember her name, but
Yeah, and I think she was in the 70s.
I think so. Yes.
I guess.
Oh shit.
Oh God. Jeez. I've got nothing.
What nationality was Davina Galitza? She was British, wasn't she?
I don't know.
By racing license, I think.
I think she might have been. Desiree Wilson?
I thought she was British.
I think she had a British license, but
I think this one is very hard.
I think it's good.
I think
That's
it's
good,
hard.
though.
It's
We
a
like
good.
a
It's a good.
challenge.
It's a good thing that it's a hard
But I
one.
feel I'm going to step in and say you might be barking up the wrong fanny.
I've tried to tell them it's not a woman, but they're not.
Let's go
listening to
Riccardo
me.
Patrese.
That's a side shift.
Would he have been? He's not American, but would he have been denied a drive at Brabham for some reason, even though he drove for Brabham?
I don't think it was him. I've got nothing beyond my first guess, which I'm getting less and less confident with every clue.
Gilda Ferran. How old's he? He's a bit younger, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not 65.
No.
Looks it.
He's a difficult one to place, isn't it? If you don't know how old he is, you've got a bit of a spectrum, I think.
Yeah, I think it cut him in half and count the rings.
Do you want a double guess after the next three?
Yeah,
probably.
go on
Probably.
When I won a race, I would perform the Muhammad Ali shuffle on top of my car.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I have raced in NASCAR. Sorry.
Okay.
That narrows it down to just about any American. I mean, what was it? The Daytona 500, a field of 40 cars. It may still be going on at the minute now. It started this
who
time
knows?
last night.
I have worked with the likes of Jack Rashu. Rausch.
Roush.
Roush. Jim Truman and Bill Cosby with the raping and the drugging and the bar.
Bill Cosby.
Yes.
I am completely. I know less.
I feel like we're probably looking for someone black.
There is Dos Spaffers.
I think.
How old
given
is Tom Cruise?
So I say someone black, you say Tom Cruise.
In real years or Xenu years?
Real years. Are we talking Tom Cruise's character out of Days of Thunder?
Oh, we could be talking about character. That's something I haven't
Oh, hell.
But yeah, I feel like we are looking for someone of some kind of
They would probably
the
look at someone
first
real.
to do something, I think.
Well, if they had a potential of a drive for Brabham when Olivetti was sponsoring them, that wasn't a cartoon series.
No.
I
But
think
yeah, if we're looking at things like the Muhammad Ali shuffle and
and
something being a groundbreaking moment.
yeah. Should we go for Spaffer number 1?
I have recently had a Netflix documentary released about me.
Again, that could be anyone.
Literally.
The people against O.J. Simpson.
Taylor Swift.
I'm R. Kelly. I still find it obviously it's harrowing, but I still find it hilarious that the world will get to a point where a documentary had to be released called "Surviving R. Kelly."
Oh Lord.
Oh, Spaffer number 2.
Because not everyone
Jesus.
did. Let's be honest. Let's carry on.
Didn't. I shouldn't laugh. Me reaching the Indy 500 was a similar significance to Lewis Hamilton entering Formula One. I'm guessing this has a skin colour thing to it.
We're looking at somebody with maybe of maybe not black but Asian descent.
Interesting.
Well, no, because there've been plenty. There was Japanese drivers
Well,
from...
we've established they're born
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
Like this is I have never heard of this person,
Good start.
and it might be the most NASCAR name
Oh hell.
I've ever read.
Oh God.
Bubba Earnhardt the 12th.
Not a million miles away.
Well,
But it's, as in,
Duke Hazard Jr.
John Boy.
Walton.
how else can I help?
By giving us the answer, I think we're
we're
beat,
done.
aren't we?
I think John O'Mills has beat us.
Good
Well
chance
well
we
done,
don't
mate.
know this
Well done.
person.
I am Willie T. Ribs,
I
an
have heard the
amazing
name.
name.
I have heard
That's
the
an
name.
amazing name.
the first African American to qualify for the Indy 500.
Awesome.
Very good.
That was an excellent one.
It was
that
an
was
excellent
really
one.
good fun.
That was bloody
Willie
hell.
T. Ribs.
There he is.
What a name!
Oh, he's got a parent called Bunny Ribs. That's amazing.
Worst barbecue side.
Bunny
ever.
Ribs.
Bunny Ribs.
That sounds like a type of vibrator.
Ribbed for, yeah.
Hellfire. I'm just going to check the YouTube comments and see how many people were shouting at us.
No one got that. Not even Mrs. Ribs. I saw her in the comments.
That was fantastic. Right, how do you send a shunt in?
Tweet me at a total shunt in a private message. Instagram me at a total shunt in a private message. That's your lot. Do it.
Right, if you want to get hold of the rest of us, you can get the show at 3Legs4Wheels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And individually, we are
At Flood21.
At Sean Cowper.
and at Pablo100. Right, Formula Lee time.
Meow.
This was a lap of the Bahrain short course in the 1992 Williams, and a few entries this week. I'll rush through the top 20. A few people I need to know your actual names because I've only got your gamer tags. But in 20th we've got Dan Lyons. I came 19th. I'm still scoring points in this. I'm not crap. In 18th was TK-421MDW.
Good name.
It could be a double-barreled surname. It might be a hyphen. 17th was Marcel Streak. 16th was I'm Not Very Good.
Another good name.
You were better than 11 other people,
Perhaps,
but worse than 15. In 15th was Ruben Hernandez. 14th Ian Walker. 13th, Stephen Perkin. 12th was Pete Bull. 11th, Chris Shales. Right, top 10. Nosebleed territory. Ed Forsyth was in 10th place.
What?
Our perennial just outside the points.
Esteban Gutierrez.
I think we have to stop calling him Esteban now. He's a regular point scorer.
Yeah.
9th was Weitcher Camping. 8th was Callum Graham. 7th...
You thought of my joke then.
I did.
Yep, we all did. 7th is another one whose name I don't have, and I've only got the gamer tag, which is Pipendi Banges. I'm just waiting for something.
Right, okay.
That sounds like someone saying something in Dutch or Welsh.
No, Dutch.
Pipendi
We don't have J's in
Banges.
Welsh. Well, not like that.
Anyway, 6th was Matthew Gooch. 5th...
Surname's Gooch.
You do this every time.
Technically, what you've written there is more like...
Yeah, but it's pronounced Gooch.
We've had the conversation.
We've mangled his surname before.
That's understandable.
Yeah, we've
that
had
happens.
this conversation.
It happens.
Matthew, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, 5th was Max Williams. And talking of mangled surname, Santerio Nasty was 4th.
Oh, well done, Santeri. Good effort.
Right, top 3. 104.811. In 3rd place was Carl Armstrong. I think Lee's about to die.
I don't understand why that caught me so off guard then.
2nd place,
you've tickled me.
2nd place, 104.496 is Carl Toomey, and this week's winner with a time of
Carl
103.
Carl Toomey, babe.
We've
lost Lee.
We've
completely.
Lost him. Give him the morphine.
Go on, who's
winning this
one?
week? 103.673 is Chris CPMK9.
Sounds
Very
like a
good.
robot.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Russian bots have infiltrated Formula Lee. Amazing.
Last race of the Winter Series, another 2-week one, and it is going to be in the 2010 Red Bull round.
It's James.
Can I finish now?
Yeah, sorry.
2010 Red Bull round the short Silverstone circuit, and it's another 2-week one, so you have until Monday the 2nd of March, 7 o'clock UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Do it. Sorry, that's yours, that.
Send your times in, private message on Twitter, or email 3legs4wheels@gmail.com, or if you're on PlayStation, add me as a close friend, that way I get to see the real name at Pabstar. That's about it for this week.
Sound.
Yeah.
So we've got testing coming up. All that remains for us to say is thank you to all the Patreons who subscribe to our extra show that we do, the non-Formula 1 related one every week, and that's live on YouTube as well.
Congratulations to Cody.
Oh, and congratulations to Cody Piscatelli, who has graduated from university and got a real job.
A real job, and he's using his real job dollars to become a Patreon.
And
so thank you, Cody.
It's a good use of your money.
Everything that goes into Patreon helps us out.
Yeah,
basically.
Keeps us running. Keeps makes us do the recording.
Buys all the technical equipment and
Yeah.
biscuits and tea and cables
and for those who watch on YouTube, you get to see our lovely faces every week.
What a treat that is.
Sometimes we even shave.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But you can sign up by going to patreon.com/3legs4wheels. Donate anything from $1 a month upwards. And
the more you donate, the more we like you.
Somebody had to say it, and you did. Right, we'll be back next week, looking back at the first week of testing.
Yeah.
And see if we've actually learned anything.
We won't have done.
Probably not.
But we'll pretend we did.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll learn if there are actually real cars.
There will be real cars, and Ferrari will be looking really good in the Winter Championship.
Just like they do every year.
Yep.
So until then, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that is stopped. Right, usual YouTube Q's and A's.
There are a couple of follow-up questions about the Formula Lee track.
Formula Lee track.
Basically, what is it, and is it wet or dry?
What was the track again?
Silverstone Short.
No, that's one of the questions. Silverstone Short in the dry. I don't know why I'm typing it in the comments. I'll put it on the website as well, and
If anyone
I'll tweet
reads
it out
afterwards, then
Yeah.
you can see
Any
it on
cues that need A-ing?
Are you going to get Scarbs on to go through the new designs? I think an invitation will have to go to Scarbs.
We hope so.
I will be slinging him a PM this week, and hopefully he'll come on again. He's come on the last 2 years between testing in Australia to go through the new cars with us.
I've just opened YouTube to see if I can look at the comments, and I'm just going to show Sean the two things that have come up on my screen.
So that's cremation services and the 3Legs4Wheels episode 237.
Cremation services. Yeah, thanks for that, YouTube.
Right. I also think my atomizer needs changing.
Yeah. While you're dealing with that,
I can't. It's a no.
Lee is currently just trying to.
It's something that happens to you when you get to that age, isn't it, Paul?
A question from Paul Banks. What would your ideal past or present track be to replace China, no matter licensing or cash?
Ooh.
And what is the most realistic track? I think given that they've asked for it, Imola will be the most realistic.
I think so.
It's got to be someone who wants it. You can't
Yeah.
just rock up and hope for the best.
Yeah, and my dream track that they would go to. I don't know. My favourite circuit always has been Spa. I think for just
2 Spas in one season.
No, I don't think I'd do 2 Spas, but just trying to think of circuits that I'm do I miss from old Formula One games or watching on TV. Don't think there's an awful lot of races that I would miss watching. That I would be like a dream track to replace
Maybe
China.
one of the old British ones, a Brands Hatch.
Old Hockenheim.
Old Hockenheim.
Old Hockenheim
Yeah,
would
it's
be
any track past or present. It doesn't have to be
Ferrari
something
City.
Maybe.
Probably. Oh, last season's Ferrari
Last
City.
season Ferrari City. I don't know.
You know what? I'd actually like to see Jerez again because that was a decent circuit.
I'd like the fabled New York street race to have happened.
Santerio Nasty says the Nordschleife, end of debate.
Actually, technically, that one you can just rock up to. So
Yeah.
True.
End of drivers. End of every single driver. Be like a fucking elimination round.
Mike says, question we asked here in the chat, could they bring Malaysia back in time? Yeah, they could because it's still running as a top flight circuit because they're MotoGP.
The
It's had MotoGP. They had F3 Asia Series there this weekend.
The logistics would be, it's not.
It's getting the paddock and everything there, isn't it?
Singapore has problems with the COVID-19 virus, so with Singapore having problems, and it's likely that Malaysia could fall foul of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You'd hate to have that as a contingency plan and have a contingency plan ripped away from you, wouldn't you? So quickly. So
I think you've got
The artist formerly known as Guest 5 says 2 Spas sounds like a shitty sitcom.
probably starring Leslie Joseph.
Jonathan Mills is on the chat. That was one hell of a shunt.
Yeah, it was. Very good. Proud to be beaten by that one.
I think any of the Asian circuits right now are you wouldn't replace one with one.
No.
At this time, at the time of the year that we're looking at.
Yeah, Gemma says she's never seen an F1 race around Imola. That would be exciting. It's a great circuit.
It is. It's fantastic. So just look at the just look up the old Formula One races from early 2000s that go on there, on YouTube, and you'll see the circuit is essentially the same as the layout was then. They have remodeled the start finish straight and last part of the circuit a little bit, but not so much that you won't be able to get.
The only time I've seen Imola used in the last few years, you've not got to see all of it because they do like half a lap on one of the stages of the Giro d'Italia, the bike race, and you can't actually tell because I think part of it they go the wrong way around as well.
Okay.
David Coote says, "What about Adelaide?"
Adelaide is a street circuit. 2 races in Australia. Just stay in Australia.
Well, they got rid of Adelaide because it was on the point of being too short, and if they'd have carried on for much longer, you'd have had the first sub 1 minute lap.
Yeah.
And I think Austria wants that.
The hearts of British motor racing fans.
And caused a major league argument between me and my mother because when Mansell's tyre blew, for fuck's sake, at about 6 in the morning, woke her up.
Oh dear.
And she wasn't impressed.
No, not ideal.
Yeah.
Argentina getting a mention as well. They do have the MotoGP.
I think the last Argentina Grand Prix was about, I want to say 1990.
I feel
98, I think.
Was it that late?
like, I mean,
how about Kyle Army?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel that. I mean, we're talking about all these circuits about what could replace what, but it was Imola has like put its name forward. No one's been asked, and in the cost-cutting like world of Formula One, I just feel like if a race gets cancelled or two races gets cancelled, especially considering that we've got a very much a transition year into something big next year, that those holes will just be not there.
I just can't see Formula One having an entire. If Vietnam goes, I can't see Formula One having an entire month without a race.
It'll be 5 weeks, won't it? If Vietnam, if
Yeah,
Vietnam goes.
there won't be anything during the month of April.
No.
It's just like having two summer breaks. It's not. It's not like we're not used to it happening.
Maybe you have 2 races,
Yeah.
Australia and Bahrain, and then nothing for 5
weeks off. It's just
it just doesn't make sense.
But I think given the situation,
There's some breaks roughly halfway through the season.
yeah, no, but I think given the situation and why it's cancelled, obviously you'll have the usual fucking cretins on the internet complaining and crying about things, but I think most people
You mean
understand
F1 fans that aren't our listeners?
Yeah, no, I genuinely, I think when you look at other like comment sections and stuff, we seem to have a good crop of the best fans. But yes, like,
Lewis.
So like some of the like the other comment sections you read, like just makes you want to kill people sometimes.
Stop reading ESPN.
No, we can't. Twitter's just as bad.
If they throw in another circuit, I mentioned it on the pod. I want to see Estoril. I think I quite liked. Races at Estoril.
I don't think they will. I think they'll just... Because think about it as well from a team's perspective. I think you'd quite enjoy that time if you could... All of a sudden, there was like a 5-week gap where you could go back to the factory and put all your efforts into next year's car. I think that would do teams the world of good.
Or have 2 races and then, right, what's gone wrong in these first 2 races? Let's fix that before we've got 4 weeks.
What? It's like the summer break, but we can actually do some fucking graft. Great.
Gemma also says knock Hill, then she can go.
Knock Hill will be good. They still take British touring cars to Knock Hill?
I think they do.
Yeah.
It's an absolute sod to drive on project cars.
It's a difficult circuit by all accounts.
Yeah.
Rainbow Road. That's what I want.
Rainbow Road. Good
Funnily
lord.
enough, somebody said just do it on Mario Kart.
Jonathan Mills has asked, is Portimao Estoril? It is not. They are not the same track.
No, they're not. They're different.
I think Portimao is the superbikes.
I think so, yeah. Estoril's an
what
old
is
four.
Estoril's full name? It's something ridiculous like that.
Circuito
do Estoril or Autodromo do Estoril.
Yeah.
Or also do Autodromo Fernando Perez da Silva.
Is there any other questions
Cool.
coming from the comment sections that aren't about what races could...
We've got them started on tracks now. What do you want?
Anything. Anything that we hadn't already spent half an hour talking about on the podcast would be great.
A few comments ago, Mike said we're going to try and get Sean on again. Like, yeah, that's a given.
Paul
Particularly if
Banks.
we've got a bloody
Paul
5-week
Banks
break.
Paul Banks just said Miami pushed through. That's
Oh hell yeah!
that'd be
Miami's
ace.
meant to be a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now that they've redesigned the circuit so it doesn't have those 2 long straights over the bridge, which would be a nightmare to get a crane on there if anybody broke that. Sorry, when Grosjean goes into the wall.
I mean, to be fair, the US seems intent with shipping people with coronavirus back to their shores. So, maybe another American Grand Prix is not great either.
Yeah, Jesus, hell of a name, Sean. Yeah, and Mike's going back to the Scotch. Yeah, on the same wavelength as Lee, help.
Oh dear.
What?
John Ellis Bush.
Guest 5.
Guest 5 is panicking. He's on the same wavelength as you again.
I would panic also.
Nah, you got it. You just push through now. Just double down. Double down, it's fine.
New helmet review.
They are all too similar. The AlphaTauri ones, both.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to tell
they've
them
both
apart.
gone
No.
with their national colours, which even though they're from different nations, they got the same colours. Also, the Racing Point ones are identical.
Yeah.
No, more variety of helmet. Although Sainz's new helmet does.
Science's new helmet is cool.
And
Yeah.
he's gonna,
You've got to
he's
tell the
gonna
McLaren drivers apart.
tinker with it throughout the year.
Norris
apparently.
looks good as well.
Yeah, Norris has just gone a little bit matte with his colour.
High quality of helmet in McLaren.
So, we're on to 2021 rumours. George Russell to Merc 2021.
If he continues what he did last season, probably.
Yeah, I think so. I think
if he puts Latifi away.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying he will, but if he does.
I think there's a good chance of it happening.
It all depends on Bottas, doesn't it, and what he does.
Or what they decide to do with him.
I don't know. I kind of think Bottas is... He's just keeping a seat warm for somebody. Lewis isn't getting any younger. You know, you don't want Lewis to decide he wants to retire, because I think that's what will happen as well. I think Lewis will leave Formula One when Mercedes stop winning. I don't think he'll go to another team.
Where's Ricciardo going in 2021?
God knows.
Formula E.
Formula E.
Aussie supercars.
Who knows?
Wouldn't you just love to see him doing Bathurst?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather see him at the sharp end of Formula One, but...
Jack Aitken and Latifi in Williams next year. Flipping out, Jonathan, that's bold.
Jack Aitken's got to get himself a super license first.
Is it next year you start getting super license points for doing Friday testing?
I
can't remember.
Think so. I think it's next year. It's not this
year. You can do up to 10 FP1s and get 10 super license points to give you the extra push.
I think the newly crowned GP2 champion Dan Dicton will be in Williams in 2021.
F2.
What?
You said GP2.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I think that's a GP2 prediction, let alone engine.
He's done well in everything he's been in. I see no reason why that won't be the case.
I don't know.
I need some convincing on him, I think.
Jack Aitken, I'll go on Ujo.
I'm going Schwartzman.
I don't think Jack Aitken will ever make Formula One.
No, but I think they stand more of a chance of winning. Certainly Jack Aitken stands more of a chance of winning F2 than.
Oh God, no! He's not winning F2.
Guan Yu Zhou would not be a bad shout, but yeah, I'm in the Schwartzman camp.
Jack Aitken always seems like he's just. He's like Sam Bird in Formula E. You know, he can throw a good result out here and there, but he doesn't seem to be able to string a season together.
Mike says it would be good to see De Vries in an F1 car.
Yeah,
why?
I thought last year when Gasly was looking a bit iffy, I thought Toro Rosso might make a late bid for De Vries. Because he was unattached at the time, has a super license.
I got De Vries. I got me De Vries's. No, I can't remember. I was thinking of somebody else, but no. De Vries is that little guy that looks a bit like a hobbit, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. F2 champion in Formula E this year as the Mercedes.
This is why people that win Formula E championships should be able to have a bye year where they are allowed to stay in Formula
2.
E.
You mean F2?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, that's why I thought Toro Rosso would potentially pounce for him because he was kind of going spared, but. But yeah, I mean, potentially, if
he'd have been a good Williams shout actually as a reserve driver.
Williams shout, yeah.
But Mercedes got in there first, and
but yeah, Mercedes could put him in a Williams if they take Russell up to Mercedes next year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule him out yet.
I wouldn't rule the fact that he's the reserve driver. And it'd be interesting to see whether Stoffel ends up getting some FP1s in the Mercedes.
With a view to a Williams drive
2021 if they replace because I can see them doing it anyway, just because if they don't want to keep Bottas, it gives them more options, doesn't it? At the minute, don't keep Bottas. We need to be looking at outside of Mercedes or George Russell. But if they can bring somebody else into the fold, you know, another Mercedes driver, they've just got more options. They've got more things to play with. And who knows, like under a different team that isn't McLaren falling apart, Stoffel might be able to show some of the potential he seemed to show in Formula 2, which was GP2.
I think Leclerc was the last GP2, wasn't he? And Russell is the first of the F2.
Yeah.
I think. Rebrands.
Yeah, I think you're right. Right, it's 11 o'clock.
Bobo time.
I need to get this mixed tonight, otherwise it's not going to come out until sort of about 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
Need to go to bed.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you for joining us, people. It's been lovely.
Yes, thank you to the 26 people that have still stuck around till the end.
Thank you very much.
If you want to hear it all again, should be out tomorrow afternoon. I'll get it mixed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I will do the hard work and it will come out on time, and then I will be sleepy at work tomorrow.
Do the work. Do the work.
Right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.